On today's episode 39 of Sculpt N Create, we're tapping into the journey of an artist who's not just creating music, she's telling her truth through it. I'm sitting down with S.H.E.B.A.D, a hip-hop artist whose sound blends club energy with real-life storytelling, and whose path into music started from something a lot of us can relate to: pain, heartbreak, and the need to express what words alone couldn't hold. From going viral unexpectedly on Facebook Live, to stepping away from music to focus on her mental health, to finding her way back in with a renewed purpose. This conversation dives into what it really takes to stay grounded while chasing your craft. We talk about how relationships can either fuel or derail your creativity, navigating the music scene as a female artist in a male-dominated space, balancing a demanding career as a nurse with building a music career, and why she's returning to her roots with storytelling on her upcoming EP, titled with the acronym S.H.E.B.A.D, S.H.E.B.A.D, which means she hustles every day, building and dominating. This project is all about independence, growth, and owning your journey as a woman. If you ever had to rediscover yourself, rebuild your momentum, or fight to stay aligned with who you're becoming, this episode is for you. So tap in, lock in, and let's get into it. And while you're listening, make sure you hit subscribe or follow and drop a comment with your biggest takeaways from the episode. Welcome to Sculpt N Create, where fitness fuels creativity and helping artists, entertainers, and creatives on their journey towards physical, personal, and career growth. I'm your host, Trader Fit Artist, and who I have with me today is EszJay. She's a hip-hop artist. Welcome to the show, EszJay.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, glad you can make it. So before we really get into everything, let everybody know where they can find you, maybe book your services, listen to your music, and so on and so forth.
So my name's S.H.E.B.A.D, obviously, but it's spelled EszJay. So it's spelled out. I'm streaming on all platforms right now. I'm really trying to get my Spotify listeners up there. So definitely, if you can check me out on Spotify, that'd be great. YouTube, Apple Music, all that. So.
Okay. All right, cool. Y'all check it out. All right, EszJay, so let's get into it. So let's talk about it now. What is your style, your type of music you make, and so forth? What is it like? So we can kind of get an idea of who EszJay and what she's about.
So I would say my style is just like some clubs turn up vibes right now is what I kind of have already released. Project that I'm working on currently isn't so much club turn up vibes. So I'm kind of switching it up a little bit. But I try to tell a story in my songs, and everything I say in my songs are true. So yeah, it's a lot of storytelling, I feel like, more than anything.
Okay. All right. So I'm glad that you said that, because the couple of songs I heard POP and I did, like Lovers Can't Be Friends. That's you did that with, you were featuring on that one and so forth. So is the POP for one and the Captain Stands. Those are two I'm talking about. They had that club type vibe,
Yeah.
and everything.
Yes.
Then I see Still Shannon. It Is What It Is. Only a few songs that I see right now. We're gonna get into that, but Still Shannon and It Is What It Is seemed like it was more of that storytelling vibe and stuff that you were talking about. So
Yes.
it seems like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like that's like gonna be part of an album you coming up with or what have you.
So It Is What It Is and Still Shannon were some of my older music singles, obviously. The project I'm working on now is all new music. So it'll be all new, different type of vibe. I wanted to kind of bring back that storytelling because I feel like that's what kind of started me with music. It Is What It Is, Still Shannon, Reality, all those songs. We're telling a story, and I kind of want to get back to that again. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the turn up club vibes. It's always a good time, but I want people to see more, that I can do more than just a turn up club vibe song.
Okay, I feel you. Now, when you say storytelling, what type of stories are you telling?
So the project I'm working on is really about being an independent woman, which I am, women empowerment, just telling my story of where I came from and my journey as an independent woman, things I've been through, heartbreaks, that sort of thing.
Okay. Segue to that, since you mentioned the heartbreak thing. You did fit on here. That's how you kind of got started with it. Like how long ago was that? What I would say what's transpired that for you to like put it into a song. And then another question to that, hopefully you get out of what I'm asking. And another thing to that, why hip hop and not R&B or country when that came about, and so forth.
So I started actually rapping in high school, just like freestyling, having fun. I was always like the female in a group of guys, like chilling. And I just started doing it for fun. When I graduated, I ended up being in a long-term relationship for 8 years. And that kind of inspired me to my first song, Reality, which I wrote in 2019 into 2020.
Mm,
I think I dropped it in 2020, I want to say.
okay.
Maybe it was 2019. I'd have to go back and look. Maybe it was kind of a blur in there. But that really is what got me started. It was a pretty bad heartbreak for me, just because it was my, first love. We were together since high school, that sort of thing. So that really is what got me taking it more serious. And basically, how that came apart is one of my friends actually recorded me. Wanted her to just record me like doing the song and wanted her opinion, but she put me on Facebook Live. I did not know she put me on Facebook Live, and I'm literally reading a notebook. So, but it blew up. It got a bunch of views, a bunch of comments, and people were like, "Hey, you should really take this serious." And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. And from there, it just kind of blew up from there. And I was like, okay. And I started making more music. People started reaching out to me, promoters and that sort of thing.
Okay.
I started just taking it more serious from there.
Okay. So like other than that, was it something that you weren't really thinking about taking serious? Just was something you were just doing for fun, especially in high school?
Yeah, I mean, I never imagined I would be where I am today with it, that's for sure, but I'm glad I did, because it's always been, kind of my escape for things. I always would just write, even if I wasn't writing music, I would just write, like, journal and stuff like that, poetry, so it was always a passion of mine, but I never thought it would be where I am today with it, so
Okay, I got you. And I understand like those type of, I guess people like on the outside when they already know you and they see something in you and everything. Sometimes you can't really see it until somebody else say it, and
Right.
not that you can't see it, it just really like shines a light on it and have you thinking a little bit more deeper on it because that's how it happened with me for as fitness coach. And one came to me, see what you doing all this working out and so have you ever thought about being a trainer? I wasn't thinking about it until that point, So like I said, 12 years over 12 years now, and everything still, been doing it ever since. But yeah, and also too, uh with pain, understand how that can really like help us putting into not just like just putting into words, but another taking another step and putting it into a song that definitely can help wonders and can be therapeutic in a way, getting it off your chest and everything. And not where not a lot of folks do. And I feel like even if and what I would say too, and similar to that, when my growing past and so forth. I don't want to get into the whole story, but I was like 6, and then fast forward, I was like 8, 9 years old. I was writing about her a lot in school, and the teacher was telling me, you're writing about your grandmom too much and so forth. And you know what I'm saying? I bust out crying. Don't tell me what to do. These my feelings and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But at
exactly.
the same time, she recognized my writing talent then. So
Mhm.
that's what I was. So what I'm getting at is that's when I would say my creativity was born. Then it was always run rampant on my mama's side of the family. A lot of them
Mhm.
was a creative singer, musicians, artists, stuff like that. But it was born at that time, right there for the writing side. And then I find I can do other things, drawing and stuff like that. So you really like, when other people see it in you and it gets you to like go down a path that you didn't really like think you could go down until somebody like noticed it for you. So that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Once you got into it, 2019, right? So that's when you
Mhm.
started, right?
Yeah.
Right, and to now. So what has that journey been like? What has that experience been like? Like, has it been bumpy? Ups and downs. I know everybody got their stories, so want to hear about
Yeah.
what yours is about.
A lot of ups and downs. 2019 to 2020 is when I really, was taking it very serious for a while. And then after that, I wasn't doing well mentally. So I kind of took a step back from music and focused more on my mental health. And I was really going through like a really bad depression, anxiety type things. I was just really just writing. I wasn't like making music. I was just writing at that point. And after I kind of got over that little bump, I ended up meeting some other people, started, doing more shows and stuff like that again. And I think that was more 2022, I want to say. Yeah, it was like 2022. And that whole year was just like me, like deep into the music at that point. I was doing Captain Stance a lot, some Lovers Can't Be Friends and all that. So, and then after that, I took another break. I've been taking lots of breaks, unfortunately. I got into another relationship
Okay.
with an ex of mine, and for some reason, I like to do this thing where I get into a relationship, I lose myself, and I put all my effort into the relationship instead of, still remembering. I like to do music and write and this and that. That's kind of where that break came in there, and
Yeah.
then started again.
Okay.
And so now we're here. So that was the end of 2023, 2024 is when I started kind of writing again. So
Two things I want to talk about that, and I'm glad you shared that. Now, for the particular, like you said, you were going through a depression stage and so forth, you kind of down. What got
mhm.
you through? You say you was writing, but what got you through that moment?
Well, I actually had to go to the hospital and actually be hospitalized for a while. I ended up getting a therapist and getting the help that I needed, getting on the right medications and that sort of thing. But mainly just, my support system was like a big thing. I had some really good friends who supported me, who, was like, hey, I've been through the same thing. You're not alone in this, which is really helpful. And my mom was a big support at that time too. And my dogs, I love my dogs.
Hear them in the background, so yeah.
So just remembering who I am as a person and all the talent that I have. It really just I had to remember who I was as a person. And that really is what got me through is just a support system I had and people, reminding me of who I am.
Yeah. I mean, and the reason why I bring that up to go back to my interview I had with Stacy, and she was talking about grief and everything as well. And then I had another guest on with Rich. He was depressed. He almost committed suicide. Well, he did attempt it, and everything. But and he talk about artists and their grief and stuff like that too as well and getting through it. So I want to always kind of like shine a light because when we are artists ourselves, we are constantly in our heads. You know what I'm saying? Everything coming from the creativity comes from our
Yep,
brain power. So we take everything 10 times more serious than anything because we overthink. I don't know about you, but I know I overthink a lot. And
everything.
yeah, I'm constantly trying to get out of there. I have gotten a lot better. And I think us as artists and stuff like that, we want to be perfect, want things perfect, but things
Yep,
don't run in that way. So I even tell my client that, you can't have, it can't be a perfect day to do something. Got us today is the day, and yesterday was the best day,
yeah,
but yeah, but when we come to our emotions and so forth, yeah, we can put it on paper and everything, which is very therapeutic, but it's also looking for outside forces to help you to hone in and get back to yourself. And so what I
yep,
think, and that's what Stacey was talking about as well. And, saying having that support system, but not a lot of us have that support system to go around. So like, but it's important that you find it some kind of way, other than through a bottle or, smoking or something like that or anything like that to kind of alleviate that pressure. Yeah. So, but I'm glad that you did get through it and you're getting better for it. And it might did that offer you to like have more songs in your repertoire to talk about that experience?
I haven't made a song about it yet because I want to make sure I'm gonna project it in the right way, I guess I could say. I just don't think I'm ready for that yet. I've
Okay.
been writing, about my experiences and, things I've been through, but I haven't made it into a song yet.
Okay.
Just because I'm really like working on the project right now. So I'm kind of like,
Okay.
I'll work on that
Yeah,
later.
yeah. I get when you're making music, you got to be in a certain headspace, depending on what the project is. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
you. Yeah, so you don't want to go down that dark road, and your songs is supposed to be happy or in the
Oh.
club type feel. And ain't nobody gonna feel that like that. So yeah, I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying. Okay, so my other part to that was when you stated that you had stopped a little bit because you had got in a relationship. So my question is, you had got back with an ex, or he's just your ex now?
No, he's my ex now. It was
Okay.
somebody different. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now with that said, you said you stopped because you thought you know you and of course, with relationships, I want to talk about this because with relationships, they are give and pull. But when us artists, most of our time is consumed with what our craft is or business
Hmm.
is and stuff like that. So did you feel like that he might not been like really like understanding of what you got going on, or it just something like what made you like say I gotta just drop it is what I'm saying.
I think it was more so, 'cause he did music as well.
Okay.
So, it was more so, like, he was putting pressure on me, like, he's like, "Come on, let's get this done," and I'm like, "I'm not in the right headspace right now." Like,
Mm,
I'm, like, too focused on, like, my day job and, like, our relationship right now isn't the best, you know what I mean? I can't
okay.
just sit down and write a song right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that, like, made me wanna pull away because if someone's forcing you to do something, you're gonna be like, automatically, "No, you're not gonna force me to do anything, like, that I don't wanna do."
Yeah.
So, I think that was a big thing too. I was just kinda like, "No, I'm not, like, I'm not even in I can't even think right now because you're overwhelming me with,
Yeah.
forcing me to do it."
Yeah.
So, and it's unfortunate because he's a good artist too. So, I wish I, would have been in the right headspace so I could have made some music with him. So,
Okay.
because
Okay.
he's also a good artist, so.
That's what the plot thinking with that. I was just thinking like you were like, okay, SJ, you don't need to be doing that. You with me now. I thought it was something like that, but he actually a musician too, so he get the
Mhm.
grind, he get what it takes. So he
Yeah.
wants you to get in there, but I guess the complications with your relationship was taking more of a toll in your creative process. Is what you're saying, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I mean, probably y'all probably do he make hip hop or music or what kind of music do you?
He's an R&B singer and he's a hip hop artist as well. So,
Okay, yeah, it definitely would have blended, no good, and everything. But then too, you have been tied to him in a sense. You know what I'm saying? That like, I don't know
yeah.
how that is, but like they think about all the beef that people in, the old, no matter if they made up or anything like that later on,
Yeah.
that beef song is still out there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So so y'all don't broke up. Y'all songs are still out there, on for everybody to hear, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
So I guess it was kind of a good thing then.
if look at it like that, and let's say the song go off and it happened to blow up and something like that. Now you got to talk about. Now you got to be back in contact with because
Yep.
it's a split there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's money and stuff like that. So you
Yep.
constantly got to be in contact with that person. So maybe yeah, that's something to think about when you're doing features. I think and
Yeah.
stuff like that or whatever.
Choose
If
the right
you
person.
because because I do hear a lot of artists when they turn down people because it's a certain type of aesthetic or brand that they want to portray, so they're not getting on a particular song or working with a particular artist. And it's politics and everything, so I get that to a degree. So
Right.
that's what I'm thinking of on it as or whatever. But yeah, so I digress on that. But okay, so what would you say your style is, other than the storytelling, like what your technical style and everything and everything? What would you say your music style is when you getting into the booth and making the song and so forth, and also your process.
I mean, my process is different every time, to be
Okay.
honest with you. Each song I write, I mean, sometimes it just comes to me. I'll
Mm,
sit down, I'll hear a beat, and automatically, like, I come up with, the hook for it, and then I just write. Like, sometimes I can write a song in, 2 hours. Sometimes it takes me 2 weeks. Like, it just
okay.
depends on the song and what I want it to sound like. Lately, though, I've been making songs like back to back to back. And I don't know if my creative process has just been going really good lately or what, but lately it's been going really well. I've been, making at least a song a day. Not all of them are going to go on my project
Mm,
necessarily, but I want to have those options available and,
okay.
maybe throw out some singles out there, whatever. So,
Okay. Gotcha. So are you like? I always got like I make music too, so I didn't mention that before we start recording, but now are you like hook first or are you like verse first? They always say you do your hook first, the verse will help. Once you do the hook,
yeah.
it'll help you to write the verse. But
I,
do the
yeah.
hook first, okay.
Yeah.
And I have
I think differently because I started, like I said, with my grandma and so forth, writing the stuff, the literary works the teacher had us to do. It was stuff that we had to do like essay type stuff. It wasn't really like a full essay. I'm like 9 years old. What essay a 9 year old gonna but like I had the poem. So I was like a poet, poet first. And then I was before
Mhm.
I when I started hearing hip hop later, then I like, okay, I can put this in music. So I'm thinking in that back of my brain, sometimes I hear the verse first. So I don't always hear a hook, and everything. Or
Mhm.
I might start something out and it just, it might go either way, where it turn into the hook or it might be the verse. But most,
Yeah.
but I do have some songs that I'm still stuck on the verse. I mean, not the verse, but I'm still stuck on the hook, and everything.
Mhm.
Still to this day, I like it's been a couple years ago. Like I haven't like got anything recorded yet, and everything. I'm still in like in the developing stages and stuff like that, and researching stages. But it is like to this day, I go back to the song like I still can't think of a hook with this. You know what I'm saying? So I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. Like it can be weeks later, it can be months later, and all that stuff like that. So, but and everything. So would you say you're like are you say would you say you fast rapper, technical, technical rapper, or whatever the case is?
I mean, I'm very unique from everybody else, I guess. I don't know.
We'll
I'm
talk
still
about
like
that.
trying to find my sound too. So, and I feel
Hmm.
like this project, I'm really finding more of who I am and what my sound is. And I've, played a few songs for, some of my close friends, and I'll ask them like, what do you think? Like, I mean, your true opinion, like, do I sound like anybody else on the radio? Or, like, do I need to do something different? Is this something that you would listen to? Not, don't tell me as my friend, like, to be honest with me. And, they're like, you really don't sound like anybody else. Like,
Okay.
the closest thing I've got is you sound like Iggy,
Yeah, I
which
think
I could see, but
I think you're getting
still.
pigeonholed to that though. That's what I'm saying because you so anything because you're a white
Yeah,
rapper
yeah.
and Iggy is a white rapper. I think that's what you get
Exactly.
pigeonholed to, and
Yeah.
everything. So you're getting put into that box because of that.
Mhm.
And since we own that subject, it's not a lot of in mainstream. That is, I could be wrong on the independent level, but in mainstream, you don't hear of a lot of white female rappers and everything or hip
Right.
hop artists and stuff like that. So you in a unique space with that as well. So what would you say to that dynamic? Have you ever got some pushback from that, or what kind of responses have you got with that?
It's mostly, when I'm, like, doing shows, I'll show up and they'll be like, "Well, who's your artist?" And I'm like, "I'm the artist." I get
Yeah.
that a lot of the time, or they're just kinda, like, blow me off, like, I did a show, when was it? Last month. Everyone, all the other artists were there. We were all just talking and whatnot. And like some artists would not even like come up and like talk to me, like and
Hmm.
network. And I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. But after I perform, they're
Hmm.
all coming up to me like, oh, well, who are you? And blah blah blah. And
Right,
I'm like, you didn't want to talk to me before you heard my music. That's
right,
crazy.
right.
Like, and it may be because of how I look, and because I am a white female, and most
Mhm.
of the time it is like only males. Like most of the time, I'm the only female. Period, which is
Right.
crazy.
Yeah,
So.
it's still a male dominated sport pretty much.
Mhm.
In that regard. And I think the other part of it, we kind of guard it, but at the same time, accepting as well. But we also guard it. We want, we try to. Some of us, like, and we try to like go to a point where we don't want that person to be a hypocrite in sort of way, or using hip hop to be a stepping stone to something else.
Mhm.
Like the Post Malones of the world, Miley Cyrus and
Yes.
stuff like that. Stuff like
Right.
that, so we got those kind of gripes just to let you in on that. So like if we see a person that's really like genuine, like Eminem, we love Eminem. We put
Mhm.
him in the top 10. So and everything. If we feel that that person is very genuine and about hip hop, and everything. But yeah, so yeah. And other people we like Mac Miller, Easy, stuff like that. People, we put them, in those spots because they staying true to the craft and everything like that. So it's just
Yep.
one of those things like that. And that why you probably getting it. And like I said, it is a male dominated genre. If you ain't talking about certain things for mainstream, if you ain't talking about a certain type of let's say content, where women, they don't want to hear, stuff like that. Or where, but I
Yep.
think more people need to have that, like you said, storytelling. Women that is not black or
Mhm.
white need to have that type of storytelling element to it, other than just what you hear on mainstream. Not to say it's not a place for that stuff, but we need to hear other stuff too as well, coming from I would say female side of things, you know, like Rhapsody. I like her, Tierra Whack,
Yeah.
Doechii, stuff like that. Those people and everything, I like what they bring to the game, and you can kind of listen to them. You can listen to their music. This is my main thing when it comes to women rappers. It's hard to not that they can't rap, because I think Megan Thee Stallion is a good rapper. It's just her content. I can't. It ain't for me. And I think sometimes that why some women don't like hip hop, because my think about my sisters, she ain't really like a hip hop fan. She's more R&B, and I can see like when we rap, us guys and so forth, or and we don't all the time make music for them as well. So I can see on both sides of that, like how that can be. So just need to, I said, we just need a balance on both sides. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
But
agree. Absolutely.
okay, but what do you think about everything that I said, or whatever? What's your take on
I mean, to be honest, I personally had to change my name to S.H.E.B.A.D because of um, different people, not wanting me to come to events or this and that because I was a female. I
it?
mean,
Okay.
my original name was Miss S.J. And when I changed my name, a lot of things changed for me.
Okay.
But even still to this day, like sometimes like if I'm the only female and like they don't know me, like I'll have to go first,
Mm,
to perform. Or if they're charging for like slots or something like that, like
mm,
they're gonna charge me more.
mm.
Or, if there's certain events going on, they'll be like, oh well this is the price, but I'm smarter than that, so I'll ask around and I'll be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, what's up?" Like, "Nice to meet you. How much did they charge for you, though?" And, like, kinda, get to renegotiate. I'll be like, "Hey, look, you charged him this much. Why are you charging me more?" Like, "What's the deal here?" So, I mean, female rappers are definitely making a comeback. I mean, they're definitely making a comeback, and I'm all about it. Yeah, along the lines of that, though, basically, though, like, I feel like there shouldn't be that stigma though. Like there really shouldn't. Like I don't understand why
What's that, Mo?
like as far as just like why does it have to be a male dominant world? You know what I mean? Like why like why? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like um just because that's how it was at the beginning of time. You know what I mean? Like
Beginning
go
of
ahead.
hip hop or beginning of time, like
Just in general.
oh,
Like if you think about it. You know what I mean? Like I just
mm,
don't understand like, women have a say on things too. So, and I think that we need to voice that more. And we're coming out here, like you said, like all these new female artists coming out here. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for it. Like I'm ready to hear something new from everybody. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know for the reason for why you say like for women don't have that voice and so forth, but like I can speak to like hip hop, and I don't know. I mean, I guess because you see more men doing it than women, so it just kind of just catapulted to that, and so forth. It's kind of like the gaming world too, as well. I seen something about like Nintendo when Nintendo and stuff like that first came out. They couldn't market to both sexes, men and women, or boys and girls. So they only could market to one demographic, and so
mm,
they did chose boys and started ramping it up with all type of boy related to, but women or girls like game just as much as me boys did, but
right.
you wouldn't know that until like this. So I think I would say it's akin to that in a sense, and everything. That's what you saw, and it was more marketed with those type of guys, and I guess they was more marketable in that time, and everything like that. But I don't know. But I feel like it is some women, that definitely that definitely can move the needle. I like Missy Elliott. I believe
Hmm.
she blazed trails. If you want to talk about what's the mainstream that's out now, before it's women rapping and so forth, you got Lil Kim had blazed that trail, and so forth, where the
Yep.
sexist stuff and everything and stuff like that.
Mm,
So when you look at it and go back, it have been voices, maybe not a lot of them, but it have been voices that have broke through, and everything. It just
yeah.
really like I feel with mainstream, they only try to push one narrative or one image, only want women to talk about sex and they,
Hmm.
body and scamming and stuff like that and everything like that or whatever. And guys, they want us to talk about, and not to just say the women, the guys we talk, they have us money, sex, drugs, stuff like that and everything, violence and all that stuff like that. And that's one thing I'm thinking on. But when it comes to the hip hop as a whole, I believe everybody had a voice. It just with the mainstream push that on more. Now, you could be seeing different than me. I'm like I said, I'm not fully in the space yet, but you might be seeing different. But like you said, but when they hear you rap, they get more gravitating to you. So that could be an indicator that is going into the right direction. Now, like, do you have like a circle of other female rappers that rap with, hang out with, and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's a few girls I've been hanging out with recently. I'm collabing with a girl that actually just moved out here to Oklahoma City, and she's actually from Illinois, where I'm from. So, which was kind of cool that we got to collab and whatnot. So, we're kind of working on something right now, but there's not too many female rappers. A lot of singers. A lot of singers. I've gotten with a lot of singers, which is cool, just as cool, which is great. But yeah, I've networked a little bit out here with a few different female hip hop artists out here too. So we're just not that close, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
networking. But I've been, Instagram and stuff like that. I've been reaching out, like, hey girl, like keep doing your thing, like just staying in touch with them and letting them know, like just keep going. So
Like I said, I think too it probably need to be a collaborative effort because, like I said, most women when they think about when you think about a woman saying she's going into music, you think she's talking about singing. You ain't really thinking about rapping until she say rapping. So I
yeah.
think the more women that show a certain like not just the Sexy Reds or the Megan Thee Stallions or Gorilla of the world, but like I said, the people I mentioned before, Rhapsody, Tierra Whack, and all them people like them. You see more of them coming in and everything as well. You will see people want to follow suit, looking after those folks and stuff like that, and exposing and letting them know that you got bars too and so forth. And I think like women, I think too, with it being competitive, I think that's the nature of hip hop. Is a
Mhm.
competitive type of field, especially with the guys. You see us beefing
Yeah.
all the time. You don't see too many beef between women, but I think that's part of it too. The women think they only can be one to go into that space, so they ain't trying to like bring the other person into the fold. And I
Mhm.
think if it can be more of that's my opinion. If it's more of a collaborative effort in some kind of way, if move the needle, and everything like that, your fans become my fans, and we push
Yeah.
it forward that way. I mean,
And women collab better anyways when it comes to music because they know there's only like a small,
yeah,
compared to the men, there's a small group of us. I wouldn't say small,
yeah,
but you know what I mean. Compared
yeah,
to the men,
mm,
it's a small group of us, so we got to stick together and really,
right,
like even like Sexy Red and Glorilla, like they,
yeah,
doing stuff together and
yeah.
whatnot. They didn't
They
have
friends,
to, but they
yeah,
did. Yeah, they're friends.
friends, yeah.
Yeah, so, stuff like that, like, really just gotta stick together and, bring each other up. And I mean, even with men too, like, don't get me wrong, like, I've collabed with, different men and whatnot on, different tracks. And, if they support me, I'm gonna support you. So,
Yeah. And that too, us guys are like, lending, bringing, the more women into the fold and everything as well. But I hear different like conflict and stuff, like, certain people who are, especially the ones artists that are rappers that are said, that like if they let's say they got a record label or something like that and they rappers they sell and stuff like that. I don't heard them say, well, they ain't trying to, they don't want to they don't want to put a woman on their label because they might, even whether she's a singer or a rapper, because they might be trying to sleep that person, and stuff like that. I heard
mhm.
stuff like that. So, and I heard, people when they making music with the men and women, there's that element of that might be happening. I think that blood is, or not blood is mud is up the process or whatever, or the relationship as well too, and it
Mhm.
blossom into something else. Yeah, I do agree that more us guys do gotta bring more women into the fold and showcase they talents and stuff like that. But I guess is a dynamic, like I said, that what men go through versus what women see, and eyes of both lens and stuff like that. It's hard trying to make that come together. You know what I'm saying? In
Mhm.
a song, I would say. I don't know. No, I mean, what do you think on that?
I mean, it just depends on who you're working with, to be honest. Like lovers can't be friends. I worked with
Mm,
my boy Zenu, and we both just talked about our experiences as far as that goes. But I've done lots of tracks with one of my homies back in Illinois. His name's Ludo Savage. Shout out to him too. We've done lots of tracks together. They're just not released. They haven't been
Okay.
dropped.
Yeah.
We only have one that's actually dropped on YouTube right now, and it's on his album. Same thing. I mean, you know, he did what he had to do, and I talked about what I felt on the subject, you know, and I feel like as long as you guys are talking about the same thing, you know, it all works out. And
Okay.
you got to watch out who you know, set those boundaries in people. Like, you know, you can't like walk in and, you know, obviously if the guy is like looking at you funny, I'm gonna be like, I'm leaving. Never mind.
Right.
I see what you want, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
then I'll leave. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
about it. I literally say like I'm here for business only. Like, I'm not on that type of time, and if that's what you're on, then let me go ahead and leave. And you know, I just out the gate, that's what I say. If I don't know you, you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Right. Right.
And I feel like that's the best way to go about it. Like, I've been doing that since day one, and so far so good.
Yeah.
It's been working for me. So
Yeah. I'm not just saying it's just one thing, but I'm not saying it could be a multitude of things of why that is not so prevalent for, you know, women in the hip hop space and stuff like that. I'm saying there could be some of it because it's such a male
yeah,
dominated sport. And when you hear people make music and stuff like that, so many guys in the booth in the studio making a song at most times and stuff like that. So bringing a girl that's gonna be featured on that stuff, somebody gonna try to, in a sense,
yeah,
holler at the, girl. So it's that element. But me, I ain't talking about them on the music, but I'm just saying on the business standpoint, I don't try to
yeah,
I don't mix business with pleasure because that's gonna,
yeah.
like I said, it's gonna mess
Absolutely
up
not.
everything. Yeah, they're gonna mess up everything. So
Yep.
if y'all gonna do that, like, okay, look, we gonna just, be where we gonna be, but we don't need to do no business together, and stuff like that. Unless
Yep.
it's like, we actually in a relationship or something like that, and we happen to make music too as well, and everything, then that's
Hmm.
different. But other
Right.
than that, business is used. But I would say there's some of it too. Why some women can't get ahead because, well, you ain't gonna do this unless, yeah, I ain't gonna put you forward because you didn't do this, or it don't gotta be that acceptable, but it could be other things, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but so what would you say the name? Or what would you say? What is the name of your album that you're coming up? Is this an album that you're coming up with?
It's an EP.
EP? Okay, all right, cool. What is the name of it?
So it's called She-Bad, and it's actually an acronym. She hustles every day, building and dominating is what it stands for. So, like I said, it's all about she
All right.
hustles every day,
Okay.
building and dominating. But basically, yeah, it's just all about, you know, me being an independent woman, things I've been through, my most recent heartbreak. I have a song on there kind of about that and things I went through with that. It's really just letting women know that, like, you know, you're not alone in this, and just letting them know, like, hey, these are my experiences, and I'm sure, you know, other women have been through it too. And I really just want people to relate to, you know, what I'm saying. So,
Okay.
and that coming back to the storytelling thing, I'm kind of going back to where it all started, and
Mhm.
we'll see what happens with it.
So how many tracks is
I think I'm gonna have 6.
6? Okay.
6 or
Uh,
7, I'm still deciding.
so it's mostly about the heartache you went through for us in relationships and stuff like that. Is that what you're saying?
One of the tracks is, and the other ones are more, I mean, yeah, there's a few of them on there like that, but, I
Mm.
mean, majority is just, you know, things that I do that make me an independent woman. Like, sometimes I work 16-hour shifts. I talk about that in one of my songs, you know, just things I
Okay, you did
do,
say
you
you were
know.
right. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's certain things that, you know, I talk about that women can be like, man, like I'll be doing that too, you know, like I really be working my ass off. Like, okay, like so and then, you know, just shout out to all the single moms. I'm not a I, you know, I'm a dog mom, but shout out to the single moms out there doing their thing, because
Mm.
I don't think I could do it.
You don't think you would
So
have kids?
I mean, kids, yes, but being a single mom is just
Oh,
so
okay.
hard.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I mean, I see my friends do it, and I'm like, kudos to you, man, because
Mm.
I'm struggling with just the dogs. So I mean, maybe I'm just not there yet. I don't know. But yeah, I want women to really relate to what I'm saying on these tracks. And
Mm.
so far, you know, the few that I've shown, they're like, man, you know, these are really you're really talking, you know, like you're really telling a story here. So
Okay, definitely. And like I said, the relationship part is a topic we don't talk about in hip hop, a lot. Whether it be men or women, I don't think we talk about relationships a lot. Emotions, men don't talk about most. I do see women; they will talk about their emotions more than us guys will. But just relationships as a whole, I don't think we talk about that enough and everything as well. So good that you're doing that, especially talking about the pain from it and you overcoming from it as well can help somebody out as well. So commend you on that. Uh, Yeah. So now, with that said, like you say, you are a nurse. For how long have you been a nurse for?
9 years.
9 years. Okay, and that's what's up, man. Thank you for your. Yeah, it feels like when you do a nurse and doctor, you got to kind of have it akin to somebody in the service. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you, like somebody in the military or something like that. Thank you for your
Yeah.
service, and stuff like that. Yeah, because in a
Yes.
sense, yeah, the army or people in the military, they are protecting our lives, are protecting our
Yeah.
livelihood, and the nurse and doctors are protecting and saving lives, stuff like that. So it's
Hmm.
it's akin to people. So that's why I feel like that. Like I gotta say thank you for
Yes.
your service.
Not everybody feels that way, so thank you.
Oh, I mean, I'm in the health field, so with me being a fitness coach, so I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and everything. So we the redheaded stepchild of the health world, but we are in there. So yeah, I do understand. With that said, but with you being a nurse and working the 16 hours, like you were saying, and so forth, how did you find time to even make music, write music, be in the headspace for that? Because that can be on just a regular person. That can be very draining, where you don't even want to do anything but just lay down. After a
Yeah.
long shift.
I set certain days. Like, I mean, my schedule changes every week, unfortunately, but I
Okay.
make sure I set like at least like 2 days, 1 to 2 days out of the week where I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lock in the studio for this whole like I when I lock in for like a whole day. I'm not gonna lie. I sit in my studio for a whole day. And I usually come up lately I've been just coming up with a song and I'm like, okay, cool. So
Mhm.
I have to make the time. You just have it's a balance. It really is, especially, between working, going to the gym, taking care of the dogs and, the music, all that. It's a balance and you just have to find it. And everybody's different. Everybody
Yeah.
works different and not everyone can do 16-hour shifts. So I mean,
Right.
I don't blame them either cuz
Yeah.
sometimes I don't want to do them, but I
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about balance in life. It really is.
I mean, let's talk about that balance a little bit more so people can understand it. Because that you said something interesting that I like to expound on. Because I remember I used to work at Levi's. It's a plant where they did not the making of the clothes, but it was more of packaging and shipping them back out. And we were working on a weekend shift, and it was 12-hour days. From Friday to Sunday, we were working 12-hour days, so 36 hours, and just that
Mhm.
little weekends. And during that time, man, I would still like go to the gym right after, that 12 hours and
Mhm.
stuff like that. 'Cause I love it and I know what it does for me. So it was like a decompressed thing too, not only just on the fitness or the aesthetic style of anything, but it was also, like I said, for a place for me to decompress, alleviate stress and stuff like that. Now, and I always tell my clients and people that when you're doing stuff like when you putting fitness into things, your work and whatever else that you're looking to do, your kids, family, however, making time and stuff like that or whatever, is all about again a balance. Or I say rolling with the punch,
Mhm.
especially getting it all in. So included with your music and so forth. When I say rolling with the punches is man, we all have 24 hours. We not doing. Excuse me. It's not where is not where we doing something every hour. Every all of those 24 hours. It's
Right.
something where it's some time where we got some downtime and
Mhm.
everything like that. If you got downtime to look at your phone, look at TV, something like that, that can be used for something else. So that could be for like making, like you said, making your music, going to the gym.
Mhm.
So how do you balance your time?
Try to only work 36 hours a week.
Okay.
If I do a 16, that kind of helps me because that
Okay.
took 16 hours off for the week. But I actually just got a second job. So I'm probably just going to go back down to my 312s just so I can work my other job because it's only 8 hours. So,
No.
but basically, I work overnights. So I sleep during the daytime. So that's why I'm always up all night. People are like, "Why are you messaging me at 3 in the morning?" And I'm like, "This is the middle of the day for me.
Right.
Thanks."
Yeah.
But usually after my shifts, I take care of my dogs, go to the gym, and then I usually sleep for about maybe 6 to 8 hours, depending on
Mhm.
the day. It just depends, really. Maybe less. It just depends. But then my days off, which I try to put aside that 1 to 2 days, is when I really sit down in a studio and write music. Sometimes I'll be in the car listening to, beats or whatever on the way to work, and something will come to me and I'll put it in my phone and I'll just write it in my notes. It really just depends. And sometimes even at work on my downtimes, I'll just be listening and I'm like, "Ooh, that sounds good," and then I'll write it down. So I'm always working, even though I'm not working, if that makes sense.
Right, right.
There's always time because there's always ideas going through my brain.
I
And with
already
the
know.
overthinking, like we began with, the
Right.
overthinking, I'm always thinking of something. So I
Yeah.
try to write throughout the day because I feel like that helps me decompress as well. By the end of my day, I'm like, not as many thoughts, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I feel you. And yeah, definitely, man. I mean, I like I said, being a creative is a million and one ideas you thinking of at one time, and you can't act on all of them because you try to act on all of them, you ain't gonna get nothing done in the immediate thing that you looking to do. So I had to learn, okay, look, cut that off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me focus on this. But yeah, you definitely have to, in a sense, like compartmentalize like what lanes you gonna go down. Okay, all right, from this time to this time, I'm working on this. This is the nursing, and this
Right.
time here, or on the way to work, or I mean, on the way to work, or on the way from work. I'm writing listening to beats and stuff like that. You got to find those times. I believe people go with, and that's a funny thing when you say like, what? Why you texting me 3? Your friend saying why you texting me 3 o'clock in the morning. I think us as creatives, we kind of understand the thing of time, but is we understand that the time is a like really a construct or whatever. It's like
Hmm.
society puts time on us in a certain way, but what is really early? What is really like? You know what
Yeah. Like, what is time? Like, who invented it?
I'm saying? And everything. That's what I'm saying. Like yes, okay, this place closed at this certain time. And no matter depending on how you look at it, like if you at 3 o'clock, is it late or is it early? You see what I'm saying? Well, you know what I'm saying? If you wake up at 3 o'clock, then somebody will say it's early. Or if you're getting off at that time, somebody will say it's late.
Yeah.
So it got to be one or the other kid if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say yeah. I think when people look at time, like if it only follows into one scope of functionality is like how society got it. Okay, you this job, this you work from this hour to this hour. This place of business where you do other business close at 5 o'clock. Most of you do business got closed at 5, and then the rest of the night stuff closed by 10, maybe 12. And everything like that. And if you follow that construct, then yeah, you ain't got no time. Because you following that if you operate in a time that in your own, I would say, zone of time, then you understand that it's really a construct. It's basically how you want to move versus the time. Of course, we in society, so we gotta operate in that time. But we gotta when we doing things for ourselves, we gotta understand that it's still a abundance of time out there and everything. It's just about what your ideal is. I think
Yeah.
a lot of us try to go into what our not I mean not, I'm not your the time the time is there. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of us go to our ideal time, especially when it comes to the gym. I
Yeah.
want to hop on it like be like, okay, I got to get it in at 5 o'clock, and then that time don't come. Well, I don't got no time. But if you operate in the time that is actually there, like okay, maybe I couldn't get in at 5, but I was free at 12 from 12 to 3.
Yeah.
I could have did it at that time frame. So that's why I said I think people get kind of confused with that. Hopefully, I ain't going on a tangent, but did that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, it does. And that's
Uh,
why, like, I mean, as far as the gym thing goes,
uh,
sometimes I don't go right after work because
yeah,
I'm honestly drained from work. So obviously, I go to Planet and they're 24 hours, which is
yeah,
great. So it
yeah,
works for me because
mhm,
sometimes I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'll be in the studio and I'm like, you know what, I need a break for a minute, and I'll go to the gym.
yeah,
And it's like 2 in the morning, and I'm like, nobody's there and I love it.
Right.
Sometimes, it's nice because I'm like, okay, it's kind of breaking up, that time that, my brain's kind of like, okay, I need a break from studio time. Let's go work out for a minute.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just all depends. Time is really not a thing, to be honest, like,
Yeah, that's what
except
I'm saying. Yeah.
except work, really,
Right. Yeah.
because they tell you what time to be there. But besides
Mhm.
that, I kind of do my own thing. I don't really go off, unless they tell you you have to be here at this time.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. When you ain't operating off society, it's really like,
Mhm.
but if you thinking that on and off, like when you in society and when you ain't in society, then yeah, you ain't got no time. People operating off like they operating,
Yeah.
but yeah, so you got to know the difference is what I'm saying on
Mhm.
everything. Yeah. So yeah, you get me. You know what I'm saying? And then,
Yep. I
like I
got
said,
you.
and like when you like you said, you take a break from the of making music and then go to the gym. It don't have to necessarily be the gym, but it can be something else, that they'll get their
Yeah.
mind off of it. Because sometimes, you gotta rejuvenate your battery some kind of way and then come back to the
Mhm.
to the music. And so because you can get into that writing block, the writer's block, or that mental fog, you just really ain't feeling it and stuff like that. Taking a step back, no matter what it is that you do to help you to take a step back, healthy that
Yep.
is. And let me say it like that, healthy that is or decent. But to get you a step back and then get back to it and everything, you'll see you probably be more flowing in your
Mhm.
creativity than anything, than staying on it 24/7. So it's always a balance on all aspects is what I'm saying. Okay, so with that said, like so now I did notice that you said I think this is you released your first music video, right? Is this your first music video?
Captain Stance was my first music
Oh, it
video.
was okay, okay. And
Mhm.
I know now you said you're best known for your recent release of the PLP music video. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So why are you known for that? And like I mean, because I didn't see the music video on Apple Music, but I don't know where else it could be. Like, so can you talk about that a little bit?
So the POP video, basically, I think it's getting attention because sex sells, unfortunately. So, and it's called POP. So
Okay.
I think that's why it's getting a lot more interaction, I feel like. And I think a lot of it too is how, the algorithm is and that sort of thing. So, like, my Instagram, like, actually got hacked. Or
Okay.
I don't know what happened to it, but it got deleted. I had to make a whole new one when I
Okay.
started, my music again, which was, within the last like year. So I don't know what happened, but I just started getting a bunch of followers. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that kind of helped me too, as far as, that goes, as far as the POP video goes. And the Captain Stance video doesn't have anybody in it. POP does.
Okay.
So, those people were tagged. They're going to share
Uh,
it. Their friends are
Elaborate.
going to share it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that
Hmm.
had a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Captain, it has a lot of views too, but it's been up for a while. So it's to be
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm glad that you said that too about collaboration. I think that a lot of us in the entertainment field don't think about that as much.
Hmm.
The collaborative and network type of element to what we doing.
Hmm.
And everything. Okay, well, yeah, we can tell somebody to hop on this song, but you just doing that. I ain't gonna say. I'm just saying, like, I'm thinking like, okay, well, we just thinking just to make this song hot. That's it or
Hmm.
more better, or you can't think of another verse or something like that. So you get somebody, you want to get somebody to do the other 16 on this or whatever. But I think too, they ain't thinking about, okay, this person is hot. Let me get, the mainstream does because, they even there with the executives and all that stuff like that, that kind of have them in another thinking frame when it comes to certain things. Maybe not everything, but a certain few things. Um, but but mainstream when you seen how old are you by the way? Because
31.
31. Okay, I thought you were like when you had said I'm thinking like when you said high school. I'm 39, so I'm thinking when you said like high school, I'm thinking you like maybe 25. You know what I'm saying?
Look, yeah.
It was kind of like what you said. Like you said you like when you started in 2019. So I'm thinking like and you were rapping in high school. So I'm thinking like okay, this was
Oh,
not too long ago. Yeah. And everything. That's what I'm thinking too. So, cause my son,
yeah.
he graduated at 25. Yeah,
Oh,
just
okay.
last year. So I was like, okay, maybe she. But anyway, where was I? At? I don't know, college. College. Uh,
I got distracted by the age. You were like, "How old am I?"
oh, okay, yeah, because yeah, in the '90s and 90s, early 2000s, you seen everybody was getting on everybody's song, and
Yeah,
everything like that. Especially with somebody popping and everything to break this artist out and stuff
yeah,
like that. So that person's fan base clings on to this new person, and then those fans become fans of that new person. I don't
exactly.
yes, I don't think a lot of us, I don't think a lot of people in the music industry that in the independent space. I always kind of try to say they don't think of themselves as a brand, and I ain't trying to say everybody. Don't get me wrong. So anybody listening to it don't think I'm saying everybody, but some people I think that don't understand that you are operating as a brand. So you got to think of it as a brand. Marketing comes to play
Yeah.
it way before it comes to the music, the talent, which you think the talent should take you a long way, but it's about, you networking with people. And like I said, we come from with hip hop, especially with hip hop, you come with it being such a, I would say, like I said again, a competitive space where we are. Well, I'm the head honcho, or this one I'm the queen here and stuff like that. We don't want nobody in our space. So if I put light on you, it's gonna take light off me, and and not and it shouldn't be like that. So you're like, okay, look, how we help each other gravitate, and everything. I get
Mhm,
your fans become my fans, and vice versa. But
mhm.
I'm glad that you said that, so with, you being more on that particular song and more people was on it, it gravitate there and put more eyes on it. Cause like we doing
Yeah.
now. So once this goes out, my
Yep.
fan, my audience become your audience and vice versa, and stuff
Yep.
like that. So that's the reason why I'm doing it to help, you know what I'm saying? Artists and entertainers more with that. But yeah, I like that you said that. So with the so you two music videos in. So how is that process? How is that process being? Where you making a video and stuff like that? Because I believe that's a whole nother thing. That's like a lost art nowadays. Where
Mhm.
people are not making music videos. You 31, so you come from that era where music videos were rampant, MTV, BT, and stuff like where we sit down and watch those videos. I haven't I watch a video every now and then now, and I only catch it on streaming, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what's that process like?
Well, for Captain Stance, it honestly that is not how I wanted it to go at all, if
Mhm.
I'm being honest. I was in my boat, actually just sitting in my driveway. It looks really nice, but I was just in my driveway, which that's not what I wanted to do. I actually wanted to take the boat out on the water, but it was like not a good day to do that. And then my videographer was like, let's not do that. That sounds like a bad idea. We might fall in or, something crazy might happen.
Yeah.
So we decided to just do me in the boat, which is cool. So that I mean, that one was kind of an easy process and it was my first music video. So I was kind of just like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm here. But POP was definitely everybody collaborated on it. Everybody that's in that video definitely helped with every scene. And my videographer, Solo Vision, he did both of those. Shout out to him. He's a great videographer.
Say his name again.
Um,
Shout him out again.
Solo Vision,
Solo
Solo
Vision.
Vision.
Shout out to
Yep.
Solo Vision.
Everybody, including Solo Vision and everybody that was in the video with me, my homegirl Leah, my boy Frisco, and my boy Chuck, Andrew, everybody. They were like, "Hey, let's try this. Let's do this." And I'm like, "Okay." Like it was everybody's idea, and I love that because it turned out so well. Like I feel like if it wasn't for them, because I literally walked into it and I was like, "Hey, I got this little, space for us to shoot. I don't really know what we're doing, so let's just like start shooting ideas."
Okay.
And actually the beginning scene of POP, it's like a skit in the beginning.
Okay.
That was like a last minute thing. Like
Yeah.
literally, like it was last minute and we were all just sitting there like coming up with ideas. So
Yeah.
and I just love that because everybody in that video is from a different part. Like Aaliyah's
Mhm.
from Illinois. My boy Frisco, he's from Illinois but stays in Atlanta. And Chuck, he's out here in Oklahoma City, but everybody's just from a different background and different place. So, and I feel like it's good. It's good to
Mhm.
have that collaboration. And then Solo, he's
Yeah.
in Chicago. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's so
Okay.
many different views getting on it, and that it worked out well. I'm glad that everybody put their input. Like, it was a great effort for everybody.
And where are you from, by the way?
I'm originally from Peoria, Illinois, but now I'm in Oklahoma City.
I'm said okay. I'm in
Hmm.
Mississippi, by the way. I just wanted to know. Okay, cool, cool. Now with the music video, I think a lot about with music now. One, we our attention spans is so not mine, but I'm just saying like most people, most of our consumers, the listeners and stuff like that, the attention span is so short,
Hmm.
and you know they don't like put any credence or watching a whole video like a music video like they used to back in the day, or like we did back in the day.
Right.
But I think you know you still people have people that still do it like Kendrick Lamar. His videos always you know got a message and some type of cinematic aspect to it. Doja had
Hmm.
a good. I can't remember the song, but she had a good video. She brought it back to like I don't know if you've seen it, but she brought it back to like when Family Matters, and she made it like it looked like it was a whole Family Matters. Not just Family Matter, but those sitcoms back in the
Okay.
day, TV
Yeah.
show back in the day. She made it kind of like that type of aesthetic in that video
Okay.
or whatever. So she had what's the guy name? I don't want to butcher the guy, but most of her count from TDE and everything like that. They was in there and everything as well. So like I like stuff like that, well thought out. Most of the
Hmm.
video that you see usually be where they just in one room or they just doing something and they might pan to this other room. It don't be a whole lot of thought to it, you know, and everything like that. They
Yeah.
might change clothes, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't really
Yeah.
like a whole vivid representation of what your the music is that you play right
Like you're like outside of a house or like
there.
you just outside of a car and like
Right.
that's it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and
That's
I'm
it. There
like,
you go.
okay, like I don't even get what the song's about at this point because you just
Right.
standing outside.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, with now also with that type of thing too, that you know, the music video used to be like a calling card to, you know, in a sense, a show reel for a lot of things. Not only just showcasing your music, but it's showcasing everything. Because like in help in making music and everything, it can go into modeling. You know, because you got it's a modeling aspect to it. Is you can go into acting. It's some acting aspect. So I like what you
yeah.
did in there. I like what you did in this video and stuff like and everything. Think about doing this and so forth. You don't see that element too much as more. So with that said, what do you think? Like with music, making music videos, that do it have that same effect of getting you noticed now in 2026 than it was back then in the 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, I think so.
Uh,
I mean, it just depends what kind of, music video you want to, portray. Like, I mean, mine obviously like there's a lot going on in it, but I just feel like you said, people have short attention spans. They don't want to sit and watch the whole video. So
yeah,
I feel like you have to keep doing something in it to keep their attention.
okay.
Like if you're just like standing around, ain't nobody want to watch that. People want to see what's to it,
Right.
like so I mean that's just my input on it. But I mean there are some good videos that, don't have anything going on too,
Mm,
but it just depends on the song, really.
okay. Yeah. So they'll because I was seeing somebody like they were like it was a couple years ago. They were like music videos are not the thing to do or like not in a way in the traditional sense of what they were for, you know, and I forgot what he said it need to be now, what how you need to utilize music videos now, but you were like the initial reason for him was to do, to get your name out there, more people to kind of put a vision they can see the artwork of what you were doing in that song and so forth, showcasing you in different ways and looks and stuff like that, other than just the song. But it's different. It was a different way he said they should be utilized. But so I just curious your take on it since you have done two videos
I
and
think
stuff
it
like
makes
that.
the song better. Like I want to see a video to the song, Like obviously if it's a good song, I'm like, "Ooh, I wonder what this video is going to look like." Maybe that's just the artist in me. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm always curious. I'm like, "Oh, I wonder what this video is going to look like." Like even
Yeah,
like back in the 90s, like I mean, a lot of those videos I ain't never even seen until I
yeah,
seen it on
yeah,
Facebook and I'm like, "There's a video to this song? What?"
yeah,
And I'm like, "Oh, this is a good video." Like, okay.
yeah.
So, I think it makes the song better.
Right, right. Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. You grew up in the 2000s. I grew up in the 90s. So yeah, so but yeah, now a lot of that stuff I wouldn't understand what's going on, but I was there for it. So yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, and everything. So, but yeah, I feel you, it does. Like I said, it puts it brings your art to life, you know, and
Yeah.
everything like that. So that's what it does. But you know, and they can kind of see more of what that song is about. And
Right.
I think they say too is now you need to you have a music video, a lyric video. If something else
Yeah.
they say, you know, they say you need to have all those elements to it, wherever song you dropping, you know, and everything like that
Mhm.
for folks to really like get into it and everything like that. But okay. But yeah, so it now you said with Miss S.J. was what you first started off with. And then you changed to S.J. Kinda I didn't say you kinda did the same thing that Jamie Foxx did with his comedy and stuff like that. His I think his name was Eric Bishop, and then he changed
Mhm.
to Jamie Foxx. So because most of the
Yeah.
people was getting on were mostly men, and I think it's when they thought James were mostly women. I think he said at the time. Yeah, I think most of the women they were looking for, and he changed the name to Jamie Foxx so it can be a unisex name, and then that kind of got him in the door more more readily and stuff like that,
Right.
whatever. Yeah, so but with S.J. you spell it differently instead of just the letter S and the letter J. You
Mhm.
got as we see on the screen, EszJay. Jay. Why that way? Is it just a stylized way or is it in around the reason to that?
So it's just like SJ, like kind of spelt out. Like I wanted it really originally. I was gonna do ESJAY,
Okay.
but I want when you Google search it, somebody else comes up,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I don't want to steal somebody else's name. So I was like sitting with my homegirl. I was like, I want to spell it out, but what can I do that's different? And she's like, I don't know, add a Z or something. And I was like, SJ, okay, I like
Yeah.
it. We'll go with that. So I just added the Z in there,
Okay.
just for
Okay.
whatever.
Okay. Okay, got you. So it's not like I thought it was like maybe it's an acronym or something like that. Like you said, the
No,
okay. Okay, cool. I
it's
mean
SJ spelled out.
okay, cool. It's a cool stylized way because with Eminem he did the same thing, you know, with his
Mhm.
name, yeah. Instead of
Yeah,
just the Eminem like the Candies, he said stand for Marshall Mathers, but
right. Mhm.
EMINEM. But okay, that was and now my name Trey. I'm thinking about when I put my stuff out. I don't look Apple Music and seen a couple of people that on came over Trey. I seen a Mexican guy. He using Trey the way I got it spelled, and then I seen I think he's a country singer. His name Trey Landon or something like that, or Trey something or something like that or whatever. But I was like, I don't know. I got to see like, did you like register your name?
Yeah.
You did. Okay, how do you do that?
Really, there's just a website for it. I mean, you just literally Google. I literally just Google everything. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Everything that I learned, I Googled how to do it. So I mean, you just register and you just Google it. There's a website for it. I mean,
Oh yeah.
there's a website for everything. But
Yeah. I mean,
that's all I did, to be honest.
okay.
But I'm still. I mean, I don't know everything, so I'm
Oh,
still
hey,
figuring
okay.
things out.
Okay.
So if I don't know something, I'll YouTube. I'll watch a
Okay.
YouTube video on how to do it, or I mean, that's how I learned how to do my whole studio by myself. I record my own music now, so
Yeah. I mean, I'm just asking 'cause, like I wanted to see like make sure before I like actually land on that. 'Cause I want to just be self, you know, just say Trey. You know, that's why I don't
yeah,
want to like I don't want to have a whole first and last name. You know, mostly they're gonna go by your first name anyway. You know, and stuff
yeah,
like that. So, but I want to make sure I'm able to use it. You know, and everything. So
yeah.
that's why I say I want to check to see if it's in the database for me to be able to use it and stuff
Hmm.
like that. Okay. Now you said you made your own studio. So you don't go into the studio no more. You do your own recording and all that
Hmm.
stuff like that. What's the reason for that? 'Cause I have talked interviewed with a few artists and they have their reasons why they do their own studio versus going into somebody else's studio.
It's more comfortable for me. I'm in my own home. I can take as long as or as little as I want. There's not no, I didn't pay to be here or anything like that. I can, there's no pressure behind it, and I like that. And I like to teach myself how to do everything. Like I said, I'm very independent, so I wanted to learn how to do it. And I was like, for one, this is going to save me a lot of money, also the studio time and all that stuff too. And so I just started YouTubing how to, what equipment I needed. I use Pro Tools, so I learned how to do Pro Tools. And at the time, I actually wasn't working, so I had plenty of time to just sit and learn how to do everything, which is great. It was like right after COVID, so like I wasn't even working. So I had plenty of time, which is crazy. I'm a nurse and I wasn't working. Don't ask. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to be working, but I
All right.
wasn't. It was kind of when I was going through like the whole mental health thing. So I was taking a break from nursing, and so I just put all my time and energy into learning how to set up my own studio, learn Pro Tools, learn how to mix, and I'm still learning. Like
Yeah,
I'm not a pro like at
yeah.
all. Like
See,
I still send my songs to be mixed and mastered just
okay.
because I want it to sound professional, but I mean, I know how to mix it to where like it will sound right. Like if I have to go like perform it somewhere, but
Mm.
not to where like, hey, I'm gonna drop this.
Oh,
So
okay. And that's my thing. Cause once I get out there, cause I have been like looking at a couple of studios to record it and so forth. But my thing is, this is my approach to it, cause I got other little like the other thing that I mentioned I got going on, so that can kind of get cumbersome. I ain't gonna say cumbersome, but it can be a little bit of time consuming trying to focus my attention on those efforts, and then me trying to learn how to sit down and like record something and make it sound a certain way. Do you buy your beats or you make your own beats as well?
so I have a producer who sends me beats or random people send me beats. Sometimes I use YouTube beats, but I always lease them. I don't, just use them. I
Okay.
always, buy them or
Yeah.
whatever. But for the most part, yeah, it just depends.
Okay. Yeah. So like, but yeah, but the for the recording process of everything, I don't know what I don't know. So I didn't want to like start doing it. Now everything I do, I like even with this podcast, I sat down and did the research to learn how to do it and get to a point and everything. So
Mhm.
I can do that, but the time it would take me for to do that for with the music, I don't want to. It's gonna take away from this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything else. So like I was like, my thinking, my approach to it is, might as well go to somebody who I already know what to do and they got an ear for it and stuff like that. And I know it's
Right.
gonna come out right instead of me trying to go and learn the learning curve and it'll take a like it'll take a while for me to get to that point. And everything like
Right.
that as well. So yeah, so that was my thing. Guy, Jamar, he was telling me he said, "Well, let's try it out first, see how it is." He said, "I got to a
Mhm.
point where I felt like you said comfortable, doing it at home and not being rushed and all that stuff like that. You say you might do good inside of somebody's studio, but he said you gotta,
Mhm.
experience that for yourself.
Yeah.
But so was it being in the studio, was that a little bit more like? Can you talk about that process or that experience? Is it like why? Other than you saying it being uncomfortable, like why did you like make the switch to go ahead and do your own studio? Like what did you not like about it and say, look, I'm gonna just do my own thing?
Just the different people I worked with, like, I just feel like they weren't, like, vibing with me.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
like, I would record and they would just be like, "Okay, Imma mix it down, have a nice day," and I'm like, "Did you
Okay.
like it? Was it good? Give me some
Okay. No
feedback." You know what
feedback.
I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
There was
Business
no
only.
feedback ever, and I don't know, like I said, it could be because I'm a female or what, I don't know. I didn't ask too many questions, I was just like, "Okay, send it to me when you're done, whatever." Obviously, the songs turned out well,
Yeah.
but, after that, I was just like, why am I really don't need anybody's feedback. Like, I make my music, and then if I want somebody's feedback, I'm going to ask them for it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it just depends too. Like, some studios, I just don't like, I don't know. A lot of the time I recorded, it was in like somebody's basement. So it was a lot of home studios anyway. So I was already
Yeah.
kind of used to that. I've only been to like a professional
I like
studio.
how you put that. I'm already at somebody's house. Well, I can do this at my.
Might as well just do I was already kinda used to that vibe
All right.
anyways, but it
Okay.
was just the whole, like, trying to get it set up, then I gotta pay for it, and then, like,
Yeah.
do I really know you for real? Are you really, gonna do me a service, or are you just doing it for the money? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I guess. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. Some of them probably just looking at it like at you as a number. Maybe no
yeah.
kind of thing to it, but okay, next. You know what I'm saying? That
Yep.
type of thing. Yeah, I get you. And that was my approach to it, where I would like, okay, if I work with this, not just a beat maker, but I buy. Because I'm looking at the beats on BeatStar. That's where I get my beats and
Mhm.
stuff like that from, and everything
Okay.
like that, and everything. So I'm working with this producer. Hopefully he can be able to, all right, like you said, give me feedback. Okay, you need to do it this way. Now I'm gonna like listen to myself and say I may need to do it this way or put this in there, do that. I'm gonna do that too because I'm creative, by heart as well. But him, as knowing and been doing it for a long time, an engineer, this is his field, and he was like, okay, he or she, do it this way. maybe you want to take this part out or something like that. Get that feedback, and then once I get to a point where I hear what they hearing, and I get more into it, like I get my feet wet, so to speak, and I get more experience and more confidence under my belt for it, doing it on my own. Then I might look at that where you at? Because you've been doing 6 years now, say from 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, with that said, then when I get to that point, then maybe I was like, okay, look, should I have my own, set my own studio up or whatever, in that case. But yeah, I just wondering like why, because most of the people I have sat down with start doing their own thing at the house, and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just easier. I can do it whenever I want, you know what I mean? I can record it and then be like, "Hey, I got a song," and I'll send it off remixed and mastered, and it's done. You know what I mean?
right.
I don't have to schedule studio time. I don't have to pay for it. I mean, pay for
Mm,
mix and mastering, obviously, but I
yeah,
mean, as far as like laying it down, like I can do that. I mean, it's as easy as pressing a button.
yeah. And I have used like Spire, Tully with Jonah Lucas app. I don't know if you use Tully or not. It has a recording part on there too as well. Uh, yeah, Beast Tully, I haven't. He don't went. He don't got where he doing subscription with it now. So I haven't like uh got it back on in there. But I liked the tool and everything. So once I really like start actually putting the music out, I'll probably go on ahead and get that subscription. But BeatStars even got a little thing that they partner with. I think it's Velcro or something like that, where you can record your stuff on there too as well. So yeah, I have done it. Like Spire, I don't know you heard of Spire, Spire.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
They had a little tool where you can record into there. It's supposed to give you some kind of studio sound that you can like put out or give to your producer and stuff like that or whatever that you're gonna like a home recording studio and everything with it. Or whatever
Right.
where you can it's portable, like you can bring it with you and everything. Like you at a hotel, you can record something right there at the hotel through that thing. But they
Okay.
also have an app. I don't know if they selling a little thing no more or whatever, but they also have an album that I have recorded myself on. So I have gotten, a knack for doing that. Maybe I can, but I just don't know what I'm, what I'm not knowing. What I'm saying? That's my
Yeah.
so. But yeah, okay, cool. Now we talked about a lot, and everything. Definitely, I'm good. You good, but like I said, is there anything else that you want to talk about that we haven't discussed today?
Um, I just want everybody to, make sure to tap in with me because my EP will be dropping soon, and
Okay.
I'm super excited about it. The plan is like towards end of March. I don't have like a set date yet. Um, but I'm really excited about it. So
Okay.
it's my
Great.
first EP. I
All
only
right.
have singles, so
Oh.
shout out to all the people working with me on this EP,
Mhm.
my producer, and a couple homies that's been helping me, feed me some energy behind it. So
That bring me to when you were talking about it, you only been dropping singles. So are these all the singles that you have?
mhm.
All right, and so why did you move into the EP space and not keep dropping singles?
Because I wanted people to see that I can have a project out there. I don't have one yet, and I feel like that's the next step. I want people to have more of a variety of what my sound is, which I'm still finding anyways,
Mm.
but hopefully this will maybe help with that. And I want feedback from my audience too. And
Oh,
hopefully it'll give me that right feedback and I can move into, the next album or single or whatever I decide to go from there. So
mm,
hopefully this will be like my jump start to what's going to be after.
okay. So this gonna give you the understanding of where to go next with it. Like, or should I
Yeah.
keep doing singles, or should I make another
Mhm.
EP, or even do an album?
Right.
But what would you say that process had been like making an EP versus just doing singles?
I mean, it's really I've just been coming up with a lot more ideas lately, and that's why I kind of decided to make an EP because I had this idea, and then I came up with She.E.B.A.D, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a good idea."
Mm,
And then I already was talking about being like, "What's a bad bitch?" and "What's being an independent woman?" And I was like, "Ooh, let's just make it a project." Like, because I was already basically like making a multiple songs talking about it, so I was like,
yeah.
"You know what? Let's just make an EP about it." So, and then it spun off more ideas after that. So that's
Okay.
basically how it came about.
Okay, gotcha. And but like, was it hard in making the EP with the 6 songs and stuff like that? Because you're going in with a more of a concept more than just one song. You know, you gotta rely
Mhm.
on just this one song, but with a like a EP or album, you gotta conceptualize the start to the end. Was it a little harder?
No, not really, because I already knew what I wanted to talk about and what subjects to kind of hit on. I did get into writer's block for a minute, but then I jumped right back out of it. Like it was maybe like a couple weeks, and then I was like, why am I just sitting here? Let me listen to some new beats. I think it just, you know, I get ideas for my beats. I know some people write first. I feed off beats. So I listen to beats first in order to get an idea. So
Yeah, me too. And I was telling another guy I interviewed that sent me CYD Tone. I was telling him that's kind of how I approach it. 'Cause, like I have some titles in my head. I think of little bars here, a couple bars here and there, but I have titles in my head. Like, oh, that might make a good title for a song. So what I do is I go
mhm,
on BeatStar and say and put that exact title in, and then whoever the beat maker or producer is, they have some of those similar titles, you know, and everything like that. Now I might not go with that title they gave or the title, even the title I gave. I might change it up a little bit, but at least that person who made that beat is going with that type of same idea. So let me see if I'm
right.
on the same wavelength as that person. You know, is I'm hearing what he was hearing when he was making the beat, or she was making when they were making the beat. So that's kind of how I approach it too as well. So that's cool, interesting that you said that. Okay, cool, man. Now, but let's we're gonna kind of wrap it up. So
Okay.
again, before we get into the plug-in, is there anything else that you want to talk about real quick that we haven't talked about?
Nope. I think we covered it.
All right, cool. What do you think is the biggest takeaway that people can get away from this conversation here today?
Just be authentic and be yourself is like
Mm,
the main thing. Like, don't get on a podcast and try to be somebody different. Like, I came on here literally being myself, talked about, things I've been through, shared with you, my mental health struggles and stuff like that. And um, hopefully, it'll reach somebody and hopefully, it'll inspire them to, do what they want to do. It don't even have to be music. Maybe it's, drawing or whatever, and hopefully, they listen to this and, watch it or whatever and be inspired by it. So,
yeah, most definitely. And also, what would you say to the artists that are starting out and looking to get into music, being no matter what the genre, but what would you say to them starting out?
be yourself, honestly. Be authentic and be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to be Sexy Red. Don't try to be Clover. Don't try to be these big mainstream people. Like, be you and be your own sound because, I mean, that's what I've been doing so far. It's working. I know I'm not mainstream or anything, but I mean, people are going to read behind fake.
Right.
And not saying that Sexy Red and Glorilla, that's them and that's, their
Mm,
persona or whatever, and that's truly who they are. That's great.
yeah.
But just don't try to be somebody that you're not
Right.
because people are going to read right through you.
Yeah, most definitely. We have talked about that on some other interviews as well. So I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Okay, and I am glad you. Thank you for sharing that. All right, so before we get out of here, let everybody know again where they can find you, maybe book you, and so on and so forth. And shout out your EP again and everything as well.
So again, my name's S.H.E.B.A.D and it's spelled EszJay. I'm streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. You can find my music videos on there. Follow my IG. It's SJ Music. EszJay and then music. That's where you can really get in touch with me. That's like my music page. So you can find me on there. But yeah, this EP coming up, y'all. I hope everybody taps in with me with it, and yeah, I'm super excited about it. Shout out to
Right.
everybody that's been working with me.
No, most definitely. And y'all check SJ out. And SJ, I appreciate you for coming on the show, sharing your insight, your story, and your grind. Definitely like to have you back on. Let us know how everything going. And like I said, we looking for future collaborations, whether it be on here or elsewhere, in the future as well.
For sure. Thank you for
All right,
having me.
cool. All right, cool. And thank you for coming on. So I've been your host, Trader Fit Artist. This is Sculpt N Create with my guest, EszJay. We out of here. Stay sculpting, stay creative.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. If you're looking for fitness coaching to help you reach your goals, want to join our animated network for fitness, guidance, collaborations, networking, and community, or are interested in being a guest on the show, check out the links in the description. Stay creative, stay fit, and we'll holler at you next time.